This is an incredible story of two animals that shouldn't have been friends but somehow bonded so closely that they became family. It began, however, with a sad tale. A group of sisters walking one evening found themselves confronted with a kitten. It had been abandoned. It had no home and no one to care for it. It was weak and hungry. She was found and rescued on the brink of death. The sisters didn't know what to do, but they knew if they didn't do something that the little kitten would die. So they decided to roll the dice and see if nature could be as kind as it had been cruel. You won't believe what happened. The three sisters were Trois, Ti, and Trambouille, and they lived in San Jose, California. It was in 2015 that they came across the lost and helpless kitten. She was only 3 weeks old at that time. While she seemed to be okay to begin with, her health rapidly began to decline. As with many young animals, the kitten had not yet been weaned, and that meant whenever the sisters tried to feed it, it refused to eat. This, of course, led to the kitten becoming weaker and weaker, and soon it became clear that she would die if something didn't change. She almost did not make it through the first night, writes Lilo the Husky on Instagram. Even with round-the-clock care, our cute kitten was lethargic and limp. The three sisters didn't want the kitten to die, but they were uncertain as to what the best move to save her life could be. In the end, they realized that they had no real option but to place the care of the kitten into another's hands. Well, paws, to be precise. This is Lilo. She's a husky dog. She is, in fact, one of 3 Siberian Huskies which belong to the sisters. She is, however, the pack leader, and the other 2 dogs, Infinity and Miko, defer to her. That meant that if one of the dogs was to care for the kitten, it had to be Lilo. The sisters were worried that Lilo would have no maternal instincts. She had no litter of puppies at that point in time, and in fact, she'd been spayed in the last week. Was it possible that Lilo would want to care for the kitten, or was this a false hope? The kitten, now called Rosie, was very lucky indeed. Lilo took to her warmly and saved her life. They spent hours cuddled up together on a blanket, and Lilo never left Rosie's side until she was sure that Rosie was okay. The cuddles and comfort Lilo gave Rosie the confidence to drink from a bottle, too. Rosie was at one point so convinced that Lilo was her mom that she tried to suckle from her. Of course, that didn't pay off, but it was, according to the 3 sisters, the day that Lilo and Rosie achieved a mother-daughter bond together. By some miracle, she started suckling on Lilo, and Lilo went full mom mode. You won't believe what happened next. Lilo had become Rosie's mom, and like all good daughters, Rosie wanted to please her mom. So she began to mimic the actions and examples set by Lilo. Yes, our little kitten was growing up as a husky dog puppy, and the outcome of this was just incredibly cute. The 3 sisters say that Rosie believes she is now a husky dog, and that she wants to do exactly what the other dogs do in the family. That means she sleeps in a pile with them, eats with them, and even goes on walks with the dogs too. She has her own leash for that. If Lilo and Rosie are kept apart for more than a minute, they both begin to exhibit symptoms of severe distress. The 3 sisters say that they must be touching if they are to be calm and happy. Lilo lays by the door where Rosie is, and Rosie lies on the other side, and they both whine and cry like Romeo and Juliet, says Bui. Would you have ever believed that a husky dog and a tiny kitten could form such a bond? We wouldn't if we hadn't seen it for ourselves. It's amazing how nature can take care of its own when it wants to. The 3 sisters took a serious gamble putting Rosie with Lilo, but it certainly seems to have paid off in the long run for both animals. What do you think about this story? We'd love to know. Tell us about it in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this, please share it with your friends and family on social media so they can enjoy it too.